Assalamu alaikum students. In the sequence of literary terms, today I will discuss about Hamartia. What is Hamartia or tragic flaw? What is its role in tragedy? And what were the tragic flaws of Macbeth, King Lear, Hamlet and Oedipus Rex? Hamartia is the tragic flaw or error that reverses a protagonist's fortune from good to bad, and it is derived from the Greek phrase hamartinian, meaning to err or to miss the mark. First of all, Aristotle introduced the term in the Poetics to describe the error of judgment which ultimately brings about the tragic hero's downfall. Hamartia includes character flaws such as excessive ambition, greed, or pride, which result in tragic consequences. Now let's see what's the importance of Hamartia in tragedy. It shapes the tragic plot. Without a fatal flaw, the protagonist would continue to live a flourishing life with little to no difficulty. It is the flaw that causes his or her good fortune to shift to bad fortune, usually at the most climactic point in the plot. Furthermore, Hamartia emotionally charges the tragic narrative, instilling pity and awe in the audience. The dramatic and tragic effect of the flaw may serve as a moral lesson, showing the negative effects of Hamartia, that is unhonest and yields terrible results. Now let's see some examples of Hamartia from great tragedies. First of all, I will discuss the tragic flaw of Macbeth, written by Shakespeare. Macbeth's fatal flaw is his unchecked ambition, and his desire for power to be a king leads him to murder Duncan, saying, "I have no spur to break the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition which overlaps itself and falls on the other." The only thing that leads Macbeth to action is overwhelming ambition, which pushes him forward faster and faster, ultimately leading to his tragic end. King Lear is another great tragedy written by Shakespeare. Now let's see what was the tragic flaw of King Lear. Lear's basic flaw at the beginning of the play is that he values appearances above reality. He wants to be treated as a king and to enjoy the title, but he doesn't want to fulfill a king's obligation of governing for the good of his subjects. Similarly, his test of his daughters demonstrates that he values a flattery and public display of love over real love. The first flaw in the King Lear is his arrogance, which results in the loss of Cordelia and Kent. It is his arrogance in the first scene of the play that causes him to make bad decisions. He expects his favorite youngest daughter to be the most worthy of his love. His pride makes him expect that Cordelia's speech to be the one filled with the most love. Unfortunately for King Lear's pride, Cordelia replies to his inquisition by saying, "I love your majesty, according to my bond and nothing else." Out of pride and anger, Lear banishes Cordelia and splits the kingdom in half to the two evil sisters, Gonril and Regan. This tragic flaw prevents King Lear from seeing the truth because his arrogance overrides his judgment. So King Lear's love for flattery, excessive pride, arrogance, ignorance, and misjudgment, his banishment of his trustworthy friend and servant along with his faithful and loving friend, lead him to a tragic end. Hamlet is also considered one of the greatest tragedies of Shakespeare. Let's see what was the tragic flaw in the character of Hamlet. Hamlet's indecision and inability to act upon important scenarios or affecting him in whether or not he will avenge the death of his beloved father, just prolonging the process of killing Claudius. His flaw is that he is overly concerned with death and tragedy. This flaw or weakness in Hamlet leads him into a world of chaotic surroundings and madness. Hamlet's flaw and his mad personality led to the death of several people, including his mother and the King of Denmark. His display in action and irresolution becomes the cause of his tragic end. Oedipus Rex is also considered one of the greatest tragedies. Let's see what was the tragic flaw in the character of Oedipus Rex. King Oedipus, though a smart, capable, and caring ruler, is blinded by a tragic flaw. His hamartia or downfall is his unintended wrongdoings. His weakness is hubris, an excessive pride and arrogance that directly challenge the fact that humans were, as ancient Greeks believed, subject to the fate and will of the gods. So, Oedipus' hamartia includes hastiness, anger, and particularly his poor judgment. So, to conclude, we can say that hamartia is the fatal flaw which causes the protagonist's life to a dramatic, pitiable, and unhappy ending. Although all characters are flawed in some way, the hamartia is the flaw that shapes the plot and creates a tragedy from a previously happy story.